be doing that today. Do you want to help us get started in
Yeah, I'd be
moving
glad
forward
to.
in this, Matt?
Yeah, item 2, this is the reorganization, 2A, this is the reorganization of the Board of City Commissioners. And there's 11 items under this, and so we'll begin proceeding down those. The first is comments from Mayor Sesta.
Yeah, it's been an incredible year and an honor to have been able to serve and represent this great city as mayor. I'd like to thank the members of this community who have given me this opportunity to serve, and to my fellow commissioners for the confidence that they have placed in me to serve in this role. My family has been so supportive of me in all that I do, and especially since I began public service, and in particular being mayor. I want to thank my wife Julie and our children Colby and Brady for giving their support to me and giving up their precious time with me so I could serve in this leadership role in our community. Thank you always for being there for me. I also want to recognize my mom, who's in the audience as well, and being there, and also my mother and father-in-law who are watching online as well. You know, this has been a great year for our community, and it's been an exciting time for me serving as mayor. One cannot help but be excited with the positive direction that the community is continuing to go. As I mentioned during the State of the City address, Garden City continues to grow and solidify our status as the regional hub of Western Kansas. This past year, the city and the Garden City Rec Commission initiated a plan to merge the community's public parks and recreation management, which is going well. The city continues to examine water reuse options in conjunction with the Bureau of Water Reclamation. It's now garnering state and national recognition. The 8th Street redevelopment project from 8th Street from Buffalo Jones Avenue to St. John Street will be wrapping up construction later this winter or early spring. We've been also working on a comprehensive plan for the next 20 years for the community during my term as mayor. We had a ribbon cutting for the completion of Jenny Barker Road project, which was one of the 2017 sales tax projects, which was completed. We will be working to get traffic signals at that intersection of Jenny Barker Road and K-156 as promised. The electric department completed the asset purchase agreement, which will fulfill the commission's goal of gaining access to the main transmission system. You know, despite the dramatic financial impact of the February 2021, which is almost a year ago, weather event that we had, the city felt fortunate that it was able to avoid scheduled blackouts and quickly position itself for a recovery plan that was much less expensive to our end users. Another great event for our community was Garden Rapids at the Big Pools facility was successfully opened on May 29th of 2021 and had a successful first season. And then there was the passage of 2 sales tax ballot issues. One was for the county, but will help to stabilize property taxes for the city. The other was to help support the construction of the new terminal at the Garden City Regional Airport, which is one of the front doors to our community. Also, during my time as mayor, we hired new chiefs for our police department and our fire department to help lead those departments into the future. The city named Courtney Pruitt as the chief of police for the Garden City Police Department in February. The city named John Ursick as the fire department chief of the Garden City Fire Department in December. Renovations to the new municipal court and Garden City Police Department evidence property section of the building are being completed. It is anticipated that we will be moving into that new location by the first part of this year. We also held a groundbreaking of the construction of the new indoor shooting range facility. This is another one of the 2017 sales tax projects that is becoming a reality in our community. Now, these projects have not just happened by chance. They're a result of the community working together to encourage growth and to enhance the quality of life in Garden City. These projects take goal setting, planning, budgeting, and investing in our future. All of this would not happen without the support of the citizens who sit on advisory boards and other committees to help our community move forward. Our community would also not advance like it has if it were not for all of the dedicated work of the amazing staff of this great city of ours. Many give years of dedicated service to make Garden City a better place to live, work, and raise a family. I could not be more proud to call Garden City my home. Our city is strong, our future is very bright, and it's a great day to be in Garden City. And finally, I want to be the first to congratulate the new mayor who will begin here shortly. You will find that your challenge is to make sure the office of mayor is left better than what you found it. May God continue to bless our city. Thank you. Now, at this time, the most recently elected commissioners, Commissioner Unruh, Commissioner Euler, and Commissioner Ortiz will join City Clerk Hurtado in front of the bench for the administration of the oath of office. And please raise your right hand as you take the oath.
Thanks for raising your right hand. Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Kansas and faithfully discharge the duties of City Commissioner. So help me God.
At this time will be selection of the chairperson to the board who shall assume the duties and title of mayor. I'd like to entertain a motion for the chairperson of the board at this time.
I move to select Commissioner Dick as chairperson to the board and assume the duties and title of mayor.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a second. Any discussion on that item? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That item passed. Do we need to move down and, okay.
Yeah.
We'll just hand off at the same time.
Really slowly.
There you go.
Perfect.
All right.
I was gonna say, and by all metrics, if you look at what our city has been doing, not only have we had the best recent time in our local economy and our citizens, but across the state, we are a shining example of what we can be as a city. And it's been not just this one time of being mayor, but your multiple times of being mayor, and 10 plus years as serving on the commission.
Sure.
So thank you very much
Thank
for all
you.
you've done.
It's become a tradition to hand off gavel with the names of the commissioners that have served as mayor, so I'm handing you the big gavel, but also the gavel to be mayor. And like my speech said, hopefully you'll have a good year and leave the position as mayor and the community better than what you found it, like I have. So thank you. Congratulations. Mhm.
Well, I have a couple of words prepared. And I don't like public speaking, so I kept it to 3 pages. And I even did the little trick when you're in school and they say we only have so long to write a report. I actually made margins a little bit bigger so it actually fit into 3 pages. So, all right, so thank you for this opportunity. And I first need to thank a few people. My parents for their support through my life. As I get older, I have kids of my own, I often wonder how they had the patience with me for everything that I did. From almost failing out of junior high to losing scholarships to K-State because chemistry was not a fit for me and statistics was. Your guidance in my life was vital to who I am today. My wife, Nicole, as she picks up the slack that I create from all my various adventures in life, all while she is very successful in her own career. Your love and dedication to our family is a legacy that our kids will learn from and will treasure, and they will pass on to their families in time. You're gonna have to get used to this as me being mayor, because I'm not as good as Roy. He's much better at keeping emotions
You're good.
inside. Thanks to my kids for being understanding of the time commitments and always being happy to greet me when I come home, and everyone else who's made this possible. From family to friends, co-workers and colleagues, and the people of Garden City who, for some reason, thought I was worthy of this sort of role. Saying thank you can never be enough, but thank you. While thinking about Mayor, I took some time to read about our history, and one story stood out to me, highlighting the nature of Garden City. It is from A Standard History of Kansans by William Connolly, Secretary of the Kansas State Historical Society, and this was published in 1919. Finney County was organized in 1884, and Mr. Menke was chosen as one of the first Board of County Commissioners. And this board was made of initial purchase of county supplies and inaugurated the affairs of the county. After 2 years as county commissioner, Mr. Menke was elected county treasurer in 1886, and on that date, his family moved to Garden City. And then in the 19-teens, he was elected mayor. It was during his time as postmaster at the Garden City Townsite Company was organized. The Santa Fe Railroad declined to stop trains at Garden City for the delivery of mail. The railroad at the time had a town site of its own at Holcomb, then called Sherlock. For a time, the Kansas government seemed to sympathize with Santa Fe Company in its efforts to pass Garden City up in favor of Sherlock. To offset this influence, Garden City people organized a small army of local residents to serve as mail carrier. Each in his turn went to Sherlock for mail, and thus Garden City was given daily direct service. There are many cases to prove that the permanent destiny of towns is due to some special enterprise on the part of local residents. This is true of Garden City. Its people, prominent among who was Mr. Menke, did all they could to build up their own. They induced settlers to come to Garden City, taking teams and hauling little houses across the prairies. In time, the railroad company was ready to make terms and negotiate for a settlement of the trouble. The Garden City people were quite eager to meet them halfway or more. They sold to Santa Fe half the interest in the town site. They gave the railroad controlling interest, and from that time on, trains stopped regularly. The Garden City Company built the first station for the railroad and also paid for construction of the necessary siding. And this is an amazing story about the preservation and the preservance of our community, and how they were not content with sitting back and letting others dictate their future. On December 13th, 2021, Zen City named Garden City as one of the top 5 cities in the nation for satisfied citizens. While it was a surprise to be included on a list like this, because they usually don't include small towns like ours, it was not a surprise that the people did this well. But what does it mean to be satisfied? And one of the 2 most common synonyms for satisfaction is to be happy. And there's no doubt that we have much to be happy for in Garden City. In 2020, the census showed that Finney County was 8th fastest growing in the county in Kansas, and the population was more than 38,000 people. The 2021 retail sales in Garden City was up over 11.5% over the previous record-setting year, which was 2020, just last year during the pandemic year. In December 2021, our monthly sales tax distribution broke $700,000 for the first time in history, with our previous record for a month was $656,000 in February 2018. 1 month, we were 10% above our best month ever before, which is insane. Wichita State University calculates Garden City's economic condition indicator to be at 108 points, which is higher than any other micropolitan in the state, and is the only city of our size with positive growth every quarter for more than 10 years. That's 42 straight quarters of economic growth. Garden City Regional Airport is has the third most commercial implements in Kansas. While most other colleges in the country are experiencing shrinking enrollment, Garden City Community College grew its enrollment. St. Catherine Hospital is a cornerstone that makes Garden City the regional hub for healthcare in western Kansas and eastern Colorado. It has more than over 100 beds and comprehensive care. Median household income is now over $60,000, growing 20% in the last 4 years. And a Harvard study found that residents of Finney County are in the top 20% for generational upward mobility. These are some of the many reasons that our residents are happy with Garden City. But the other common synonym for satisfied, and its Latin root, means to be content. And Garden City is not content. Like the residents when they founded Garden City almost 150 years ago, who organized themselves to carry mail until they got the regular stop, the people of Garden City today are not content to just wait and hope and to continue to grow. We are happy to see our reported 4.6% growth from the census, but we are not content to let those who have a marginalized voice to not be heard. And we fight to make sure the true population count for Finney County of 46,000 is recognized. We are happy with the record-setting restaurant and retail sales in 2021, but we are not content. That is why we have more new and redevelopment commercial projects underway. We are happy that our economic indicator score is on top of the state, but we are not content with our historic growth as evidenced by the steps that our utilities have taken to accommodate further industrial growth and the partnerships that help move forward projects like Empirical Foods. We are happy that our airport is used so frequently, but we are not content. In 2021, our citizens passed a sales tax to finance a completely new terminal, which will double the capacity of our regional airport. We are happy that so many people are seeking local educational opportunities, but Garden City Community College is not content. They are building the STEM central hub of Western Kansas to offer more educational opportunities for our students. We are happy with our medical care from St. Catherine, but they are not content. And they are partnering with the Kansas Health Science Center to establish a regional medical educational center here in Garden City, growing our local medical opportunities. And we are happy that those who choose to live here have the opportunity to improve their family's generational economic status. But we are not content, because we know that we can do more to improve the lives of everyone that calls Garden City their home, from fourth-generation residents like my children to our new friends who have not lived in America for even 4 weeks. So while Garden City might rank as a top 5 city for citizen satisfaction, because we are happy with what we have achieved as a community, we are not content. We will strive to grow. We will strive to improve. We do not sit idle and hope for the better, but like our forefathers, we band together and overcome the challenges we have since our founding. And again, in the words of William Connolly, there are many cases to prove the permanent destiny of towns is due to some special enterprise on the part of our local residents. This is true of Garden City. Its people do all they can do to build up their own. Thank you for this opportunity. I hope I can lead our community and continue to be one of the happiest in the nation, but one that continues to never be content. Thank you. All right, so let's do the selection of the vice chairperson, who will assume the duties of the title of the vice mayor and serve as the chairperson in the absence of the mayor. So I'll entertain a motion for vice chairperson. Do I have a motion?
I'm trying to read the instructions here. So.
Yeah, hold on. Does somebody want to make a motion?
Is that,
The commission like a little assistance?
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do.
Thank you.
So, would be my understanding, based on past practice, if the commission would like to follow that, but isn't statutorily required to, that someone making the motion for Commissioner Ortiz to be the vice mayor is the correct order based on previous
Yeah.
valid issues?
That's what I thought too. Yeah, I would move that we elect Commissioner Ortiz as vice mayor.
I'll second that motion.
I think it was mine, part of the script. Motion has been made and seconded that the Commissioner Ortiz be selected as vice chairperson to assume the duties and title of vice mayor and serve as a chairperson in the absence of the mayor. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That passes. Congratulations, Vice Mayor Ortiz.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we'll designate the rules of order to be followed in conduct of meetings. So I'll entertain a motion regarding the rules of order to be followed in meetings.
I make a motion that we move the commission as designate the rules of order and currently follows as outlined in Division 2, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that the commission designate the rules of order. It's currently following as outlined in Division 2, Article 2 of the Code of Ordinances. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. That motion passes. And we won't clap for that because it's not as exciting.
Mayor, I'm sorry, who was the second? I was looking down.
Oh, I heard
We both said it at the same time,
Yeah.
so.
Just pick one.
my ear's a little bit stronger on the left
Okay.
side, so.
Thank you.
Now we'll talk, discuss time and place of regularly scheduled meetings to be held, which if we change, need to be done by ordinance. Currently, we hold our regular city commission meetings at 1 PM on the first and third Tuesdays of each month. So I'll entertain a motion regarding the time and place for regularly scheduled meetings, city commission, which will require ratification by ordinance at the next regularly scheduled meeting.
I move we continue to hold regular meetings of the City Commission at 1 PM on the first and third Tuesday of each month.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to hold regular meetings of the city commission at 1 PM on the first and third Tuesday of each month. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. We'll now consider personnel authorized to be seated at the commission bench. Current practice authorizes the city clerk and city attorney to be seated. I'll entertain a motion of the personnel authorized to be seated at the commission bench, which has traditionally been the clerk and the city attorney.
I move that we authorize the city attorney and city clerk to be seated at the commission bench.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion passes. The governing body has to designate an official city newspaper as provided by state statute. Current practice designates the Garden City Telegram as the official newspaper.
Mayor and Commissioners, it was a goal for the commission to investigate alternatives to this. There has been some movement in the state of Kansas among cities to move towards meeting publication requirements using their website and then their social media tools to link to and reference that website. In our investigation, and I'll let City Attorney Cunningham go into this a little further, it would appear that so far no cities of the first class have taken this step. It's largely done by cities of the second class and third class based on the distribution of that local paper being something less than daily, in most cases weekly. We aren't in that situation. However, I think the motivation of the commission was that circulation of our local paper has certainly dropped off significantly. Second of all, the publication requirements have become more cumbersome, making us less responsive in some instances, and certainly impacting our ability to, in what we believe timely, but I suppose that's subjective, in order to hold meetings and process considerations of, let's say, a zoning change or something that a developer might want to consider, creating some additional delay that up to this point we haven't been used to. So that research has gone on. I think ultimately where we've ended up is now's probably not the time for a change, but I'll let Jennifer share a little bit more about what she and the legal team have learned.
So we've done some research, and there is a portion of the notice for publication that you can charter out of, just like we do in other instances. Anything that's not uniformly applied, you have the opportunity to create a charter ordinance and do something different. However, that would only pertain to a portion of the things that you actually do notice publication for in the newspaper. It doesn't cover everything. So TIFs, RHIDs, star bonds, anything that has to do with budgeting, all of those things have different statutes that apply to them, and so every single one would have to be laid out, and legal counsel would have to create something for your staff that they would have to go through every single time they did a notice of publication, and then we would probably want to even be double checking that to make sure that we didn't mess it up. And with Kansas being a notice pleading state, it doesn't make any sense for, at this particular point in time, to do this based on what we found out. There is not a Attorney General's opinion on this, and until there is that specifically lays out how a first-class city would do this, our opinion is that it's not the right time.
Mayor, I'll move at this time that we designate the Garden City Telegram as the official newspaper.
There's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. It's moved and seconded to designate the Garden City Telegram as the official city newspaper. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, and at this time, we'll now take a break in the meeting until 1 p.m. And we invite everybody who is here to join us across the hall for a reception for former Mayor Sesta and new Vice Mayor Ortiz, and me too if you want.
As well as the new mayor.
As well as me, if you
Yes.
want. Right, so we'll reconvene at 1 p.m. Thank you.
Let's go.